This video is going to be brought to you by RapidX gaming chairs. If you spend literally all of your free time in front of a computer like me, you deserve something more comfortable than that rusty bar stool you've got. Head on down to rapidx.io and use the code Curios for 10% off your own chair, or follow the link in the description. Hello everybody, Disciple here with Hearthstone Curios. Hearthstone's a game that's really easy to get into, but can definitely be a grind when you're first trying to get competitive. You can definitely find deck lists and maybe some advice from lots of different sites or videos, but ultimately you're gonna have to just grind out games with a certain deck to get good at it. That's why in this series we thought we'd pick popular meta decks and grind with them for 10 hours to see if we could get any valuable insights to you guys and maybe decrease how much you have to grind when just starting to play a deck. So let's take a look at some of our results and see what we learned from playing RENOLOCK for 10 straight hours on the ladder. First, let's take a look at the deck list. We're playing a pretty standard list, and opting not to play Jiraxxus or combo as finishers, since the majority of the meta is aggro, and Bran Kazakus is enough late game for pretty much most matchups. Really, the only weird card in our list is Youthful Brewmaster, and that's because it offers a lot of flexibility in our matchups. Against aggressive or combo decks, we can bounce Reno or other healing cards to help us survive. A lot of aggro decks will even just concede to you playing Reno and then bouncing it again. Against control decks, we can bounce Dirty Rat and replay it to get rid of most of their finishers, or bounce Kazakus to get even more potions. Both of these interactions are pretty OP with a Bran out as well, and they're pretty doable given life tap and a Tharisen trigger or two. In theory, this version of RENOLOCK is a little bit harder to pilot in the mirror or against control decks, but it does a lot better against mid-range and aggro, and if that's the majority of our matchups, then we're going to see if that works out. Next, let's break down some of our results, both in general and against specific matchups. In the 10 hours, we managed to play 50 games, which is about 5 games per hour using my mathematical skills, or 12 minutes a game. Given that RENOLOCK is a pretty slow deck that often goes to fatigue in certain matchups, and also queue times and other things like that, 12 minutes a game seems pretty reasonable. We started at rank 5 with a few stars and with a final record of 32 wins and 18 losses, and ended up at rank 2. Now, 32 and 18 is actually a pretty reasonable record for non-legend ladder, giving us a win rate of 64%, and reaffirming that RENOLOCK is definitely a solid choice to ladder with right now. But let's jump into our matchup specific records because those are ones we can really start to learn things from. Against Jade or mid-range Shaman, we had a pretty solid record of 6 and 2. It's really easy to use AoE to clear their initial surge of minions and then save things like Siphon Soul and Blast Crystal Potion for their big golems while developing your own threats, and it's definitely one of the best matchups for the deck. Aggro Shaman is actually a much harder matchup because sometimes they can burst you down before you can even draw or play your Reno, and we ended up going 6 and 4 against it. Pirate Warriors are a lot easier since their only burst spell is Mortal Strike and some decks don't even run it, and with your taunts you can pretty much wall out their minions. We ended up going 4-0 in that matchup and actually 4-0 against Dragon Warrior as well. Dragon Warrior does sacrifice some of its early game explosiveness and burst for a lot more late game, but RENOLOCK is great at countering both their early and their late game, so that's definitely one of the easiest matchups you'll have. We actually also pulled off 3-0 against Jade Druid, because while their late game is really strong, we get to draw a lot more cards than them, and so by being a bit aggressive against them while carefully using removal against their big Jade golems, we can actually often pull out a win before their golems overwhelm us. Bran plus Dirty Rat and Mind Control Tech is a really OP combo in this matchup, and we often rely on that to close out our games, since Druid's not going to have a lot of removal if we do manage to get a big board. We also went 3-1 against Dragon Priest and 2-1 against Reno Mage, since Life Tap just lets us be a better control deck than either of them most of the time. So those were all winning matchups for us. What were some of our bad matchups? Well, the only control warrior we played was playing a lot of greedy late game, and not having Jiraxxus certainly makes that matchup a lot harder, but control warrior isn't super prevalent, so we were kind of fine with that loss. We also went 3-4 against Miracle Rogue, since some of their starts can be really hard to deal with, as can some of their really nutty combo draws. However, our worst matchup by far were other RENOLOCKs, which we went 1-5 against, as most were playing the Leroy combo or Jiraxis. It definitely sucks having worse chances in the mirror because you have worse tools for it and it feels kinda bad to lose to your own deck, but overall, we only really suffered against RENOLOCK and Control Warrior for not having a combo, and benefited in a lot more matchups by having a lot better early game, so we'd definitely say it was worth it. So what did we learn generally after playing this deck for a while? Well, when you're not playing combo or Jiraxis, you definitely have a little bit of an easier time against aggro decks, but you also do have to adapt the way you play pretty majorly against control decks. For example, in some matchups, it's really key to get 4 Kazakus potions by getting a Thaurissan tick and then playing Brand Kazakus, bouncing the Kazakus with Brewmaster, and then playing it again. In other matchups, especially against Jade decks, you want to do the same thing but with Bran and Dirty Rat instead, and then either steal their minions with Mind Control tech or Twisting Nether or Shadow Flame to pretty much get rid of their entire hand and board at the same time. Against burst-oriented combo decks like Miracle Rogue or certain versions of Reno Mage, you just need to think about how much damage they can do from hand and play around it as safely as possible with taunts and heals without wasting too much value by doing things like playing Reno for less than 10 healing or taking a bad Kazakus potion. Pretty much by building the deck without a clear finisher and just playing a lot of strong minions and powerful utility cards, you have to piece together the win on your own by thinking about what your best route to victory is based on your opponent's deck. What makes RENOLOCK both a hard deck to play but also really rewarding and fun is knowing how to win with it when you do get in a situation like that, since you do draw a lot of cards and have a ton of options overall. So those are our results and some of the things we learned from playing RENOLOCK on ladder for 10 hours. What deck would you guys like to see us play next? I'm sure that we could do Aggro Shaman for 10 hours and get to rank 1 legend pretty easy, but I'm sure you guys would want to see something a little bit more interesting than that, so remember to let us know. And it looks like that's going to be it for me. If you enjoyed the video, we'd love it if you subscribe for more Hearthstone content in the future, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.